Hello, my lovely spooky darlings. So, I got another top 5 for you. This one is must-sees for Halloween. My number 5 is, of course, Hellraiser. Please check out the entire series if you're going to actually watch these films. It's kind of one of those, like the Jason and the Michael Myers. They're not going to be on my list, just so you know. Those are just ones that I honestly feel as though everybody's going to watch no matter what. But I've always felt like Hellraiser was one of those films because it's a lot more visceral and a lot more terrifying in a sense because you can't escape this creature. You can't run from it. It's literally just going to steal your soul. So check out all the Hellraisers, okay? I'm just going to put Hellraiser as number 5. Start with number 1. And in personal opinion, skip the newer ones. I think Hellworld is the last one that's actually decently done. The new ones to me kind of were just like the Freddy, one that was remade. It's just, and like, I love Rob Zombie, but I did not enjoy his take on Halloween. Some people are going to hate me for that. But in my personal opinion, there's not very many that can do the scream like that original girl. You are just, Jamie Lee Curtis, my goodness. Anyhow, I'm going to go on to number 4. Now, this is one that was a little bit popular a couple of years ago. I think it's lost a little bit of steam, but it still needs to be recognized as one Halloween film you need to check out. That's Dead Silence. That is a film about a young man who receives a package on his doorstep with his, I believe, wife. And in that first opening few minutes, you'll find some crazy stuff that happens. The package that he receives is a ventriloquist doll from his hometown. Now, this doll is a part of their urban legend of their hometown. Mary Shaw's doll. It says it inside the chest. You'll see it when you watch the film. Mary Shaw is a very terrifying woman. And personally, I don't get terrified very often. But to this day, that woman scares me. So go check it out if you want a good edge of your seat film where you're actually terrified to scream. Alright, guys? Number 3. This one's one that very few are probably going to know. If you do know it, kudos for you for being a horror buff and for being somebody who likes more indie style films or more low budget films. But even with that, it's got some phenomenal acting for some characters. There's some that fall flat, but I think that's any film. It's called The Woods. Now, this is a film about a young girl who is a problem child. She gets sent to a private school because she has, quote-unquote, pyromatic problems, or she likes to set fire to stuff. So she got kicked out of her old school and gets sent to this private boarding school. Now, that's just the normal premises for most horror stories, but this young lady starts to realize that the woods hold something a little bit more sinister than everybody's letting on. And she starts noticing some stuff that's just odd about all the people who go to this private school, from the teachers to the students. So, if you like a good suspense thriller, where you are kept guessing until close to the end on a lot of what it actually is about, it's one of those films that you're not going to be able to necessarily guess right away what it is. So go check that out. It's a great film, and it's worth a watch. Now, number 2, one of my favorites I have to watch every Halloween. I watch it sometimes just in the middle of the year, but that's just me. Is Cabin in the Woods. Now, if you've ever seen this film, it's one of those films that takes all the horror movie tribes and just flips them on their head and enjoys laughing at them. It's a phenomenal film. The acting is spectacular. Cinematography-wise, I have never adored how somebody can do such good prosthetics on so many horror characters. Let's just say when you watch this film and you watch it till the very end and re-watch it, there are going to be things that you are going to miss so many times that it's going to take you a few times to re-watch it all to understand what you missed. And it's so good. It's just one of those films that you gotta watch. It should be a cult classic of our time, in my personal opinion, just due to the factor it makes fun of all the previous horror notions to cinema. And it's great for that. Check it out. Number 1, my top must-watch of all times, favorite horror movie. I watch it almost every October 1st, Trick or Treat. Now, if you know what Trick or Treat is, I love you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for knowing a good film. Because that one is told in sequence. Now, what I mean by that is when you first watch it, keep in mind you might not be watching everything in actual order. And it'll explain itself when you watch it. It will let you know when it's flipping back and forth. But it's just this film about 5 different stories, I believe. Let me think. I believe it's 5 stories that are completely separate from each other, but all intertwine in each other. And it's spectacular. It has an adorable little character called Sam or Samael, however you want to. It's the proper way to say Halloween. I've never been good at actually saying old Latin words. But it is just one of those films that is so done well with its visuals, with its use of practical effects, with its creation of a story arc and how to tell a story, that by the end of it, you'll start wondering, what did I really just watch? But you'll love every second of it. And I just want to give you guys one bonus one. This is my favorite childhood, I wouldn't say horror movie, but I would definitely say Halloween film. And since this is Halloween must watch, I have to just name this one. Of course, it is Hocus Pocus. Yes, I'm one of those girls. I do adore Hocus Pocus. When I was younger, I had a crush on Thackeray Binks. I adored that character, and I have to admit, to this day, every time spoiler alert, every time he actually gets to go and be with his sister at the end, I cry like a little baby. Every time. So, with that, we are going to close on the top 5 with that bonus film. Horror movie must-sees for Halloween. I love you all, my spooky darlings. See you in the next one. Bye.